How to name a construction business. In this video, I'm going to tell you about my story for how I was able to, with the team, name the business, and also some really key things that you need to consider before you get your hopes up and really make this something remarkable. Because if you name your business right, it will affect so many things, including the direction of your company and your ability to market and sell yourself and your services. So if you're into that, stay with us. Okay, so I'm super excited about this because I'm a little bit ashamed to announce. Oh, so real quick, let me tell you the names of our businesses. Elevate Construction, it's not a holding company, but it owns all of the others. And we have Lean Tact, Lean Survey, Lean Superintendent, Lean Built. This is the construction company. And eventually we'll have Lean Business and Lean Logistics. So those will be the offerings. And the Lean Superintendent brand will include field engineers and foremen and the whole nine, right? So these are the companies, and Elevate owns all of them. So our name is Elevate Construction. Now, there are like 50 to 100 different Elevate Constructions throughout the United States. Our name is Elevate Construction IST. So Elevate space, Construction space, IST, capital letters. The IST stands for Insights, Solutions, and Training. Okay, and so that company owns the rest. So Elevate Construction is really the company where we do research and development, where we provide solutions for the industry, and where we do training, right? That name has been great because people, oh, you're with Elevate. And then people, when we start talking in trainings or in groups, they're like, I want to elevate and they're like, see, it's right aligned with the name. Elevate Construction is a fantastic name. Then we were able to find Lean, which is a buzzword in the industry, which we love, obviously. Lean and then Tact, Lean and then Superintendent, Lean and then Built for our construction company. So these names have helped us so much. They're easy to say, they're easy to remember, and here's the key. They tell you what we do. They also tell you where we're going, and they're easy to remember and market, and the brand names and the logos are all very enjoyable and rememberable. I think that's a word. If not, it is now. Here's the thing. I started to think about like names. I was going to call our business Integral Insights and Solutions, or I was going to like Excel INS or something like. These were horrible names. Like, if your company name is that, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just like, it was horrible. And I was sharing these with Kate, our CEO, and she's also my partner. She's like, those are horrible. That's garbage. And I'm like, you just ran over my dog. Like, I've done all this work, and like, now you don't like him. Like, I'm so offended and hurt because I'm like super sensitive. Anyway, and I was like, what do you want me to do then? She's like, go pray about it or go universe it or whatever you need to do, but come up with a name that like actually fits. So I went off and prayed about it, and the answer I got was, your name has to describe what you do. And then I was like, Kate, that's the answer. She's like, what do you do? And I was like, well, we want to elevate construction. She's like, there you go. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. All right. So Elevate Construction. Then all of the other names were easy to come up with. It tells you what we're doing, it tells you the direction that we're heading, and it's easy to remember, and it's a catchy name. I always tell this story with Field Verified, a really cool company that does exterior envelope training, consulting, testing. They're fantastic. They're here in Phoenix. Their name is Field Verified. Constantly, Brian is telling me, we lucked out on that name. We lucked out by getting that domain on the internet. It has helped in every single aspect of our work. It's easy to remember. It tells you what they do, right? And it tells you where they're headed. So I want that for you. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that need to be considered. Let's start out with core values and your vision and your mission. Our core values match beautifully with that name. Our purpose, our mission that we want to accomplish, everything, it's almost all just looped in there. Our core value of transparency helps us to elevate. Our core value of getting things done and driving results helps us to elevate. Our desire, or let me just even go to our 3 key differentiators: high energy, radical sharing, and internal training. Those are all elevate verbs. Like, it all ties together. So your name must tie to your vision, must tie to your core values. But let me give you some specific tips for how to go about this once you feel like you've selected your name. And at the end of these steps, I really think you're going to have a pretty clear step. And if you get to this soon enough, you'll probably even be able to get the domains for it and register this as a business. So let's go ahead and start off with number one, relevance and meaning. What that means is that the name is relevant to the business that you're in and that it means something to the people that are seeing the name and it communicates what you're doing. I can't tell you effectively how many times I've seen a business have to rename and rebrand because it either narrowed them down in too small of a niche, or it was too expansive and not specific enough, or it didn't properly describe what they do. Okay, so that is really key. Make sure the name you choose is relevant and that it means something to the people that hear it. Number two, simplicity and clarity. You really don't want this long, strung out name, right? You want something that's very easy to remember, something that rolls off the tongue, something that's kind of catchy. Having it be simple will help people to remember it, right? And having it be clear, right? I always remember, this is probably kind of funny, but like, I'm going to tell you this story anyway, but in Phoenix, there's this law firm called Lerner and Rowe. I don't know if everyone else has it, but they're like, there's a little catchy song. It's like, Lerner and Rowe is the place to go, call 97. Anyway, it's so simple, that Lerner and Rowe, place to go. And then you remember the phone number. I know the phone number for this law firm because they simplified their name, their catchphrase, and the phone number. If I ever had a hit and run or something like that, I could just dial them up, right? It's simple, it's clear. You've got to do that same thing with your business as well. And at Lerner and Rowe, there's some free advertising for you. Number three, uniqueness and originality. There is something to be said for having just a really original name, right? And I'll just give a quick example. Like Nicholas Modig, who is a real close friend of us, and we just love the work that he does. His name used to be, Operational Excellence or Construction Excellence. And it was operationalexcellence.com, which is great. I think that it describes it clearly. But they went through a renaming and now their name is Hups. And it's like, well, what does it mean? Well, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it's unique. I've never heard it before. It has a really cool logo, Hups, and it's got a neat sound to it, and I'll always remember it. Like, it's very, very simple. And in this case, instead of clearly describing, like Operational Excellence would have described it probably a little bit better, but that's a lot to say. It's a mouthful. You can get it confused with like actually, like a verb or an action versus the actual company name. Hups, nope, that's the company. This is what they do. And their brand will then tell the story. So be unique. Number four, domain availability. This is a key thing. You go on, I usually go onto Google domains. I think it's domain.google.com, and I go in and type in the domain that I want. So if I want, leantact.com or leanbuilt.com or elevate construction, right? I'm able to find these things. And so elevateconstructionist.com was available. So as soon as you know what your business name is, go and get that domain, go buy it, register it. Obviously, if it's $100,000, you'll have to like really think about it. But for the most part, it's between $25 and maybe a couple thousand. So go get that domain so that people can find you and link to your website. Number five, I've talked to you about this before, scalability and flexibility, right? And this is a compliment. Hensel Phelps Construction Company used to be HPCC, but they are in design and pre-construction. They do IPD, they do design build, right? And they also do facilities management and maintenance, and they do a lot on the development side as well. So they changed their name from Hensel Phelps Construction Company to Hensel Phelps Plan, Build, Manage. Plan, Build, Manage. So I'm not saying they did anything wrong. It was great, but the construction company narrowed them in from, obviously the pre-con efforts to the end and excluded the warranty and excluded the design and the development phase. And they're like, no, this needs to be expanded. Hensel Phelps Plan, Build, Manage. So make sure that your name is scalable and flexible. And then finally, make sure that you can register that name as a business, right? And that you're not infringing in somebody else's either copyright or trademark or their intellectual property, and that you're not going to get into any legal disputes. So definitely consult a lawyer for this. Go ahead and register the name. Make sure that you do a search. They're very good at this. And, try it out. Like the lawyer has been, in addition to checking it with other people or kind of sampling the name with folks to see if it's catchy enough and they're likable enough, your lawyer is going to help you to make sure that you're registering the right name and that it's legal, it's appropriate, it's not going to get you in trouble, and that it can be registered. So these are the key steps that you can follow. But here's the bottom line. If you get a good name for your business, that is just a lot of the battle won. Like, you've already done a part of your vision statement. You've already created clarity. You've already attracted the right people. You're already doing sales and marketing. Please get it right. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this into a blog post for for you in the description below. And I'm going to hope that you like and subscribe because this is obviously helping you out. We have more content for you. But I'm going to give you my email and my phone number. My email is jasons@elevateconstructionist.com. And my phone number is 602-571-8987. If you want help, give us a call. We're ready. Put us in. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.